Hey, good morning, guys. I just wanted to jump on here. First, I want to thank you all. I truly appreciate the views. I hope that someone out there is taking something away from the videos. Maybe helping them to realize that, they're not the only one that experiences shit or feels shit the way they do. Hopefully, if not, I still appreciate you guys taking the time out of your schedules to watch the videos, because I know that, life can get hectic at times. I haven't been sleeping well lately, so I got a lot of shit on my mind, and I figured might as well just, keep this up. Lately, I don't know. I've caught myself remembering all the times that I let other people make me feel like I was less than who I am or less than what I am. Can't fucking do that, man. Sorry for all the ums. It's been a weird morning so far. But yeah, sometimes people's actions, actually most of the time, people's actions tend to show more about themselves than it does about you. It's like the old saying goes, bullies only bully people because they're miserable and they hate themselves, so they need to bring other people down to that level so they're not the only ones who feel that way, because, misery loves company. Now, that's not to say that, anybody's actions towards you are always malicious. I do believe that, there are people out there that I think hurt other people and do things, and it's never with the intention of, actually hurting anyone. I think it's just people act on instinct and people act based on their emotions. And when people get overwhelmed with certain things, like emotions, that they tend to just run as far away from that as they can. And sometimes to the people on the opposite end of that, it feels like you're being attacked, essentially. It feels like you're being left behind. You're not good enough. And you tend to feel like it's you. Everything that's happened is you, that you did something wrong, that you pushed them away. And that's not always the case. At the end of the day, people are going to act according to what makes them happy. And in that, sometimes for someone to do what makes them happy, it's going to put someone else in another position to be unhappy, or, at least unhappy with the actions. And that's not to say that it's not always us, because sometimes we do. Sometimes people are just shitty sometimes. Whether it's intentional or unintentional, people just sometimes do shitty things, and sometimes people are just fucking shit. I apologize for my language. I know that, you that know me personally that watch these know that that's kind of light considered to the way that I usually talk, but, there's going to be people watching this that, maybe don't feel the same way about swear words. So I apologize for that. But, I've kind of lost track there. Again, I apologize. I'm on day 3 with no caffeine, so it's kind of weird. But yeah, just, you gotta sometimes understand that people's actions aren't always about you. In fact, I'm pretty sure there's a large percentage, of them that aren't about you. When somebody acts based on their emotions and based on how they feel, 9 times out of 10, it's not about you. There may have been something that you did that caused them to, remember something that they've been through, or to remind them of somebody from their past, or, to make them feel a certain way. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because it's like the last video was, you don't want to change who you are. So, if your normal behavior or who you are as a person, turns someone off, then, obviously it just means it's not meant to be. That's all there is to it. But at the same time, I think that we all seem to forget at times that every single one of us are toxic. Some of us are able to admit that. I'm able to admit, parts of me that are toxic, which is something that I'm doing with these videos. I'm talking about things that, I know for me personally, have been holding me back and weighing me down, and I'm sure that they've affected relationships, which I've made clear, and I'll continue to make clear. But we all do things that don't always agree with someone else's feelings. We all make decisions that don't always agree with somebody else's decisions for us, whether it be a parent or a relative or a coworker or an employer or our significant other. We all just kind of do what makes us happy, and sometimes we do that, in a quick motion to the point where sometimes we don't think before we act. I always tell people, one of my favorite things to tell people about myself is I don't like to think before I speak, because I like to be just as surprised as everyone else. But I think a lot of people do that with their actions as well. I think that we all act on a dime. We all look for immediate satisfaction. And that immediate satisfaction and gratification is something that drives our emotions. It makes us want more. It's like a drug. Emotions basically are like a drug, especially when it's emotions that you experience and you enjoy, whether it be happiness, sadness, anger, frustration, joy, whatever. We all act accordingly to getting the things that we want. And when we do that without thinking, yes, it's not always a bad thing, because sometimes the best decisions that you ever make are, quick, rash decisions, and they end up working out, and they end up being something that you needed in your life. So I don't want to say that it's always a bad thing, but being the person on the opposite end of those decisions, it ends up things changing for them, whether it better or for worse. We need to understand that we all do it, so it's not just the person doing it to you. It's not just you doing something wrong. It's that person acting on emotions, acting on basic instinct, and acting on what makes them happy at the moment. And we all do it. I mean, every one of us does it. If you're on a diet and you're struggling with not eating a cheeseburger, you get that feeling build up inside you, and you need that immediate gratification, so you do it. And then it ends up turning into that vicious cycle, which I'm sure most of us have done. You do that, you eat a cheeseburger, next thing you know, you're eating two, then you're eating a pizza for dinner, and so on and so forth. It's the same concept. You do this with emotions, you do this with eating, you do it with, career choices. I mean, how many people have been at a job and just been miserable, and instead of doing it the right way, I shouldn't say the right way, because the right way is different for everyone. But, instead of looking for another job, they just fucking go. They just quit and then hope it works out. And sometimes it works out better. Sometimes, they struggle a little bit. But I think a lot of those people don't exactly regret their decisions, because it always leads to something better, especially if you want it to lead to something better. So I'm starting to ramble, I think. But I'll let you go on that. It is getting to be a long video. But once again, I just want to thank you all. I truly appreciate it. I was hoping that this would make some kind of a difference. It would get out there and some people would see it. The numbers are definitely doing better than what I expected, and I truly appreciate that. I truly appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to my nonsense, that I call it. And hopefully, like I said, hopefully some of you are taking something away from it. If you can't, maybe you know someone who can. So pass them along. I mean, like I said, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist. My ways aren't always going to work for everybody, but they may work for somebody. And even if they help just one person, that'll be good for me. So you guys have a great rest of your day. I hope you enjoy the weather. I know it's a little humid out there, but just make the best of it. All right, love you guys.